Alright pals, today's video is going to be a little different than what I usually do over here on YouTube, and today we're going to be talking about how I build my hotbar texture packs for Java edition of Minecraft. So this is going to be a Windows tutorial. If you're not on Windows, I'm not really sure if there is a way for you to create texture packs, and I'm not really sure how that works, but I could potentially look into that for you. But today, like I said, we're going to be focusing on how to build a hotbar texture pack for Windows and Java edition for Minecraft. Okay, so I'm just going to show an example of what I mean by hotbar. So I'm joining my SMP right now, and I'm just going to show. So you can see at the bottom here, right? At the bottom of my game window, I have this hotbar, and you can see that my armor, my hunger, and my health look a little bit different. So my hunger are like these little rice cakes, my health are bath tokens, and my armor are these gold coins. So that is what I'm talking about when I say my hotbar. The hotbar can also refer to like the experience bar, the kind of background of where your tools lie. So all of that part is what's considered the hotbar. And sometimes you'll hear me also talk about the GUI, which is kind of like the background, the user interface, right? So this is like the GUI as well. So we're going to be talking about how to replace those things, but a lot of this can be used for just making texture packs in general, but this tutorial is mostly for the hotbar. Okay, hopefully that introduction wasn't too confusing, but to just reiterate, because I don't want anyone to be confused, this tutorial is mostly focused on how to do the hotbar. So I'm just gonna close out my game. So when you're in Minecraft, right, what you're going to want to do first is you're going to want to find your .minecraft folder, and I would recommend just looking up a tutorial because it really depends on where you actually installed your Minecraft. Mine is in my roaming folder, but you can find like lots of instructions on where to find your .minecraft folder. But that's going to be the first thing that you're going to want to do, because you need to first basically unpack all of the content that's in Minecraft. So you're going to go into versions, and you're going to want to select the version that you want to build the hotbar for. So for anything basically before, I think 1.20.4, all of the hotbar is on one sheet, one sprite sheet, and I'll explain what I mean. So let me see if I can find something that will help to explain what I mean. Okay, so when I go into this hotbar, so I made a star crosshair, right? I made a star crosshair a couple of days ago. And when I go into the star crosshair for 1.20.1 and I go into my assets, you can see that it's all on one sheet right here. You see how it's all on one image? This is for 1.20.1. Versus if I go into my 1.20.4 version of that same thing, the star crosshair, right? So I'm just gonna back out and I click my star crosshair, and this one is for 1.20.4. The crosshair is alone. So it depends on what version you're using. It depends on what version you're making your hotbar for. And you can always find out if it's going to be on one sheet or if it's going to all be separate sprites by how you unpack the file. So now we're going to get into how you unpack the file. So you unpack the file by going into your version. to find your version, you have to actually open the game within that version first. So you can see these are all the versions that Minecraft says that I've opened the game in. So let's say that for this example, I'm going to open version 1.20.4, and so right here, you should have, if you've opened the game in the file, you should have a 1.20.4 jar, and you should have a 1.20.4 JSON file. And if you are not able to see that, I believe you just have to press the view and then show and then file name extensions. So make sure that you have this showing, okay? And then you're just going to copy this and you're going to paste it onto your desktop somewhere where you can easily find it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to change the extension to a zip file. It's going to say that it might become unusable. That is fine. You're going to say yes. So now it's a zip, right? Now you're going to unpack this. You're going to unzip this. It's going to take some time because this is all the content of this version of the game. So I'm not going to do this because I've already done it. So I'm just going to delete it. I've already done it off screen for you all. So I'm just going to not show it, but you would just unzip it and extract it like you would any other zipped file. So now I can go into my MC mods or my desktop, my art practice, and this is where I have it unzipped. So this is what it's going to look like when it's all unzipped. You got a bajillion files in here, right? So when you click Control A, it selects everything. Then you're going to hold Control and you're going to click this assets folder and you're going to delete everything else. Delete everything but the assets folder, okay? Again, it's going to take some time because you're deleting a lot of files. These other files are just other things that help your Minecraft version run. So, you know, it's going through, it's deleting everything, and so I'm just going to wait, and what you should be left with is just your game assets file. And your game assets file, these are the assets that you replace when you build texture packs within your game. So you can see, like, you got the particles, you have shaders, you have all of this stuff, right? We don't care about that. So again, Control A, and then we're going to hold Control and click textures, delete everything else. Because in this tutorial, we're only worried about texture packs. So this is where you start being able to change blocks. So you can see, you have all of the textures for the blocks. If you ever wanted to change any of your textures for any item, this is how you would change it. And this is how you would start to build a texture pack. And when you're doing a hotbars, remember I mentioned in the beginning of, like in the introduction, hotbars fall under GUI, and they fall under sprites, and they fall under HUD, your heads up display. That is the stuff that's displayed on your screen. And so this is everything that gets displayed on your screen while you're playing Minecraft. Like right here, you got your air bubbles for when you're underwater, you got your armor, you got your crosshair. So remember, I mentioned that in 1.20.4 and later, everything is separate. And in a way that makes it a little bit easier, because it means that if you just want one thing changed, for instance, just your crosshair, right? Then you can just only change your crosshair. And you can remove everything else in this and not have to worry about it. And that means that if I have a GUI, for instance, like the overgrown flowery GUI, which I use a lot, if I replace everything else and I only change my crosshair and I just like delete every other file, that means that I could have my overgrown flowery GUI under my crosshair texture pack And that means that I could run both at the same time and have like a combination of those two texture packs. For anything before 1.20.4, unfortunately, you're not able to layer GUI texture packs the same way. So in a way, it's more work, but it makes it so that you're able to like customize the look of your game a little bit easier 1.20.4 and later. So I use aseprite, and I'll put the program name in the description down below, but I use aseprite to make my sprites. So you'll see like when I go here and I go to my art practice, you'll see I have these Minecraft sprites. So when I did my Spirited Away sprites, you can see like I made them like from scratch. So you can see like all my different sprites, right? And you can find out what size you need everything to be by just looking at the unpacked folder that you made and then just clicking it and then hovering back over it, and it will tell you the dimensions. So you do have to match the dimensions for the sprite. And so you're just going to create these sprites, and you're going to add them to this folder and rename them, and basically just be replacing each of these images depending on what you want to do. Like some people, they don't really care if the hotbar looks different. Like for that texture pack that I showed y'all in the beginning, I didn't really care to do the hotbar. I didn't really care to do like the experience bar. I didn't really care to change the bubbles. If you don't really care to change certain aspects, then you don't have to. If you want to be able to layer stuff, layer your texture packs, you do have to remove these different things, like these different sprites that you know that you're not going to want affected by your texture pack. If you have them in, then your game is saying run these to put in the game. If you remove them, then your game is saying don't run these. Which is why if you're not going to be replacing everything else, you also have to remove everything else. So what I mean by that is, if I know that I'm not going to be doing anything but the hotbar, then I have to remove every other thing except for the HUD folder. And I have to go out and I have to remove everything but the sprites. Then I have to go into this folder and I have to remove everything but the HUD folder. Then I have to go into this folder, and if I'm only replacing the hearts, I have to remove everything but the hearts. If I'm only replacing the crosshair, I have to remove everything but the crosshair. If you leave it in this folder, in this overall assets folder, then you are telling your Minecraft game, replace this texture in my game. Okay? So you've created your pack, right? You've created it and it's all good to go. And now you have, let me see. Now you have your GUI, right? This is the next thing that you're going to want to do. You're going to want to make this pack.meta file. And so you could just use like a regular notes app. So I literally just use my notes app that's already like default installed in my Windows, and this is what your notes app is going to look like. You have to follow the pack format that is listed on the Minecraft wiki, and I will link that down below. So this pack format number needs to match the version that you are making the texture pack for. And then for the description, this is what's going to show up when people hover over your texture pack in the resource packs folder in the game. So I will post like this exactly in the description so that y'all can just copy and paste this. But you're going to save it as, it's going to get saved as a txt file when you use it in your notes app, but you're going to want to change the extension to a .mc meta file. If you have any questions about what I mean by that, just feel free to ask. Hopefully I explained that well. But to explain it again, you're going to open your notes app, you're going to copy and paste what I put in this description, and you're going to just change it depending on the version, which will affect the pack format part of this note. And then you're going to change the description to whatever you want it to be. You can even put like, your name in there. You could put what the actual description of the texture pack is. Whatever you want to be in there, you can put, right? And then it's going to, if you're saving it from your notes app, it's going to get saved as a .txt file. You're going to want to change the extension to a .mc meta file. Okay? So now you've created the MC meta file. It should change the type to the MC meta file. Finally, you need to have a pack PNG. This is optional. If you don't have this, then this is why some texture packs will just have this like default grayed out like image on the when you're in your resource packs folder. So it's a 128 by 128 image, and it's not going to be very high res. So like you can make it super detailed, but it's not even going to look like this in the game. So it doesn't really matter. So people just do like really simple pixel art and stuff like that. That would be what I recommend if you want it to be like really easy to read, but it doesn't really matter, whatever you want it to be. And so now you have everything ready, right? You have everything for your GUI. You have everything like good to go for your texture pack, right? And so then all you're going to do is you're going to highlight all of this, or Control A, and then you're going to compress to a zip file. Name it to whatever you want. Subscribe on YouTube. Alright, and then you're gonna drag it out, and boom. That is your texture pack. You just made your first texture pack for your first hotbar in Minecraft, and now you have your own hotbar in Minecraft. So I hope this helps. This is not, a 3D modeling tutorial, although I hope to get into that soon. But if you do choose to use this tutorial, then I hope that you'll let me know in the comments if it helps you at all. I hope that you'll let me know, because I would love to know. And yeah, if this tutorial was helpful to you at all, please be sure to subscribe, comment that it was helpful for you, and I hope to see you soon in any of my lives or in any of my future videos.